Hi, everyone. Welcome to Clutch Entertainment today. And today we're going to be talking about how to be competitive healthily in games and life. And I'm going to be also talking about the benefits of losing compared to winning. Because a lot of us, we love to win, in whatever we do and how we want to get to our next level in anything in life, whether it be a game, a sport, anything in general that, pushes us to accomplish our goals and to get to the next area. So we'll start off with a scenario here. So Team A, they are really a really good team. They're undefeated. They are, this is a basketball team, for example. They're undefeated. They're like, I don't know, 33-5 for the whole season. And they are going into their championship game. Okay. So they're playing the 8th ranked team that, barely made the playoffs, had a lot of injuries, and they just had some success and they got to where they are. And so the team 8, or 8th ranked team, is playing the top ranked team, and the 8th ranked team ends up winning the game. Okay. Now, first off, the first ranked team are going to make excuses. They're going to be angry. They're going to be upset. They're going to they're going to think of every single way to not feel that way, because it really puts you in denial when you're in a losing situation and when you work so hard to get somewhere and then you end up losing overall. So what I'm trying to get at is, you want to build the character from that losing, and that's pretty much what this video is about, how to be competitive when you lose, how to be competitive when you win. And it just puts a big message overall. So with that scenario in mind, we'll go into, what the main things are. So first off is you want to recognize losing and failure is normal. Okay. There's nothing in life that, nobody in life, who hasn't failed before. And then, they never failed and then they never win. So like everyone wins and everyone loses. So, for example, a win could be I reached my goal of making it through high school. Okay. So you start off in elementary school and you get all the way through school and you make it through high school. That's a win. Okay. Another win could be you win your 5th grade championship in hockey or baseball or soccer or football or basketball. That's another win. Okay. Another win could be you end up meeting the girl of your dreams and everything works out good. Those are examples of good wins. Okay, now losses, on the other hand, are you get rejected by someone, you don't get a scholarship to a certain college, you fail on a test, you end up losing the championship to the team earlier, like I was talking about. So these losses teach us how to deal with rejection, how to deal with failure. The wins teach us how to be strong, how to be motivated, how to keep us building confidence. But is there too much of a good thing? That's the thing you got to look at. So if you win all the time and you never lose ever, just think when the one time you lose, how you're going to feel. You're not going to know how to handle it overall because you always have had everything in life. It's just like an example is if there's a kid out there who never had to go through any failures or any sufferings like most of their life, of course they're going to fail with things, but they get handed things their whole life. Like say, for example, this kid's a rich kid and he gets all the money from his parents and they take care of everything. They take care of his school. They take care of his car he gets eventually. They take care of his food, clothing, anything he wants. Okay. So when he gets out in the real world and he goes out and he wants to buy something and he's not under his parents' money anymore, he starts making crappy decisions because he's like, well, I can do whatever I want. I can spend whatever I want and such, but he never was taught that responsibility of the failure. Whereas there's another person who grows up in a big family and he's not given anything or she's not given anything, and they've had to work at a job all this time to get what they need. And then they end up, going to that job, making money, and then ended up buying their own things. And that would be considered, failures, working hard to get to where they are at. So you overall are more satisfied with a win. Another good example is you play a game, for example, and people use the same. If you're playing a card game, for example, I play a card game called Yu-Gi-Oh! Sometimes, and people play the same deck over and over. That's the best deck. They play the most relevant winning deck. Now, if I played that deck personally, if I played a winning deck like that, yeah, I would feel good to win. But it's basically how you're winning it. So if I take in my other deck of cards, for example, and I go out there and I'm like, okay, I'm going to win this. I'm going to win with my deck, with this thing I made, and then I ended up winning and I'm beating that best deck. That makes me feel 10 times better than if I won with that other deck, and then if I lose, I'm not as distraught because I'm like, you know what? I put my own effort into it. I put my own system into it and what I thought that would work good. And then I figure out ways to adapt. So that's another thing. When you lose, you figure out how to adapt. You figure out how to make it the next time. You push yourself saying, like, how can I brainstorm to be better? How can I get to that next level I'm supposed to be? And if you get to that point where you're like, I don't know where to go, I don't know what to do, that's when you got to go to a coach, you got to go to a friend, you got to go to somebody who's actually lost before just like you. And if you go to somebody like that, you get the best advice you can get. And then you end up, possibly losing again or succeeding. So that's another thing, even in a game or in life, there's so many failures, there's so many wins, you got to just push yourself to that. Some of the things you need to analyze when you're playing a game or with life is you want to analyze your environment. What kind of environment are you in? Are you in a professional environment? Are you in a environment where it's just casual? And you don't want to be, like I said before, like a sore loser. Because if you're a sore loser, people are going to have a lot of distaste in you. They're not going to like being around you. For example, a sore loser could be in a professional setting, for example. You get an interview in a job and you want to get a job. And you're with this other person and they may not be as qualified, or they may just had a better interview than you overall, and you lose the interview overall because you end up not getting the position. So afterwards, you become a poor sport and go to the manager and say, "That's ridiculous. That shouldn't even happen. I should be qualified. I'm the one who has more say." That would be being a poor sport, and that would be very frowned upon, because the next time an employer like that was going to want to hire you, they're going to be like, I'm not going to hire that guy. He's just going to complain. He's just going to get angry. He's going to be upset. A better approach would be going to the manager and being a good loser and saying, look, I really wanted to get this position. How can I be qualified the next time you have a position open? Or how can I get to this next level? That's being a mature, good sport, about losing. So basically we want to get to that, bottom line of what environment are you in? And this is how you become a healthy, competitive person, because you're trying to analyze who you're with, where you're going, and what people are going to, do or say in certain situations. I would say look at the next thing is look at the type of people you're with. That goes along with, the environment, like I was saying. But if you're with people who are all crazy people and you're at like a party, and you want to find someone who's calm, I don't think you're going to win that battle, because you're going to be just around crazy people. You want to look around for people who are like-minded. If you go to like a certain party or go to a certain club, you want to find a club or party that's, that's more so of your style. Or, you don't want someone who's going to be, you want to find someone who's like compatible with you, or a friend that you want to meet. You want to have somebody that, is along the same lines as you. If you're going to a group where it's just one-sided, where there's just a bunch of the same person and they're all just crazy people, you're not going to win. You're going to lose. You're going to lose in finding that relationship or friendship that you want to find. And overall, that's what you need to do. You need to look at the type of people and the sentiment of people. What kind of person, what kind of personality they have, what are they doing to get to where they need to go? Just a bunch of different things. And then I would say now we're going to go into some of the benefits of losing and winning. So some of the benefits of losing would be you recognize and self-analyze yourself. So you want to look at a point where this is what I'm struggling with. This is what I need to beat. This is what I need to overcome. Like if you're trying to beat a sickness, you want to look at all those different strategies that you can eventually get better or how to heal. If you're going through trauma, you want to go through all the different situations where, you want to figure out what you can do. You don't want to ever be a poor sport about anything else either. Because if you just look at something like, I'm sick, I can't do anything, I'm just a helpless person, I can't do nothing. That's self-defeating, and that's more being a sore loser to yourself. That's just another example of being a sore loser and not being healthily competitive. So if you want to beat something, if you want to beat a sickness, you want to beat a goal, you want to beat a friend in a game or competitive game, or sport, and even you want to recognize, it's going to be very hard, it's going to be tough. And the benefit of recognizing that is being a good loser. Another thing is it teaches us to get through hardship, like I was saying before. So when you lose, you realize I'm not perfect. I'm not going to get to the place I'm going to be without using some work or doing some work and pushing yourself to that goal. And if you push yourself to that goal and you get to that goal and you're like, okay, I got to do this. And then when you win or get to that goal, you become very satisfied and you get to that point where you're like, nothing's going to stop me. And that brings me to winning. So when you win consistently, the only negative of winning consistently is you can become bored with winning. That's one thing where you're just like, meh, everything's the same. I win every time. So easy. Don't have to worry about anything. I won't fail. I think sometimes you can get overconfident, I'd say. And then also I would say when it comes to winning, you never want to change or adapt or get to a next level where you want to be. So I would say with winning, I would say that's probably the worst part of winning is if you consistently win all the time, you're never going to change and you're never going to adapt and never going to be any different. So the next time you fail, you're going to be a poor sport about it because you don't know how to handle it. I would say the next thing is for winning, for positives is, it builds confidence. It makes you say, I can do this. I can make it through. I can get to the next level. Another thing is puts you in a good mood. Overall, it makes you feel good. It makes you get that dopamine, serotonin boost in your brain, and it helps you to get to that next level. It helps you to, try to repeat success and try to use the same strategies as the next time. Because when you succeed, you tend to remember those strategies and you tend to do it again. So that's another thing about winning is it helps you to build rivalries with other people. Sometimes there's healthy rivalries, healthy competition, and when you beat those certain people that you maybe lost in the past or you maybe struggled with in the past, and you want to end up getting that next level and beating them because they've rubbed in your face that they've won or you failed a few times and you're like, I gotta win. It's give you that motivation also to build that rivalry or build that challenge. There's a challenge in everything, and if you can find that challenge, it'll help you to succeed the next time. And then lastly, I would say, as far as being a competitive person, you always want to be a good sport with people. Overall, people struggle with sometimes, accepting defeat or accepting what's wrong or what's going on in your life. And you want to put yourself in a position where you don't want to be frowned upon. So if you lose, you got to lose gracefully. You don't want to lose with, you're an effing loser, you suck, blah, 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 saying that all to their face. You want to say something like, yeah, it was a tough game. Good game, man. Congratulations on winning. That's the type of mentality you want to have when you are a competitive person and you want to be a good sport about it. You don't want to be like, oh, it was so cheap. I lost because of such and such and I couldn't make it all the way. Or there's a valid reason when you have some excuses sometimes. If somebody cheats you or if somebody does something unfairly or some advantage, that's the only time you should complain. Okay. And you should leave that to like the proper authorities to decide whether or not it's a game or a failure, like maybe on a test or something. I should have had this right. Like that's when you should, talk about it and discuss it. But if it's something that you're just like, they were better and you're just making an excuse for yourself, don't waste your time. So overall, this was Clutch Entertainment today, and I was just going over, how to be a competitive, healthy person in games and in life and sports. And if you have any other questions or have any comments you want to leave in the comment section below, that would be great. So thank you for watching Clutch Entertainment, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.